Hey guys, recently I was watching the pre-release trailers that Treyarch had put out for Shadows of Evil. I thought it was really funny because some of the stuff that we speculated about was totally wrong. And when you look back, you can see all the little things they were trying to hide from us in the trailers. So I wanted to do a comparison video of the trailers versus the actual game and all the stuff they left out or it never made it or they've changed something really major. And there's also some stuff I found that I have some questions about. I wanted to show you guys these and see what y'all thought. So right here is the very opening scene of the first trailer they ever released. Here's this same angle inside the map of what it actually looks like in the game. With a comparison, you can see some of the things they've changed. Like that door going into the rift, it was an archway, now it's just flat across like a box. And you can see right there that they've put the chain trap decorations right there. Obviously that's not where it's really located. I'm sure they did that just to showcase it and give us some hints right there. But what's funny is that when I first saw this opening scene before we'd ever played the game, I had speculated that the canals are going to be the best place to train. You're going to be able to run around here. Looks like there's so much room and you're going to be able to go high rounds with these chain traps. Well, that is not true at all. Well, I think the canals are a terrible place to be. There's spawn points everywhere. It's really narrow and the trailer made it look like it was this big open area. You're going to be able to run trains and use the traps. The next part in the trailer is Jessica. She's running through this alleyway and there's zombies chasing her. And I was like, none of this looks familiar. This is not any area of the map that we actually run around on. You could tell by the structure of it. I did find it. It's next to Quick Revive by the spawn and it's below Nero's. It's in an alleyway and we do not have access to this. The next part of the trailer shows what looks like Nero shooting with a weapon in the waterfront area. We now know this gun as the bootlegger, but this waterfront alleyway looks really interesting. It looks very different from the actual game. The chain traps look really different and we didn't know what these were at this time. I had speculated that I thought it was the indicator to know where the mystery box was. There was going to be some lights in between those symbols that would light up and let you know what location of the map it was on. Yeah, totally wrong about that. And if you notice the beast fountain in the background, it's actually the correct location right there by the waterfront entrance. But a lot of us were going nuts, what is this purple light? We must know what is going on here. The next part of the trailer are the players running across this bridge right here in the theater district. In the original trailer, they left all the decorative stuff in the background out. You can see up the stairs right there. It almost looks like a room under construction. They've added nothing. There was a diner. You could see the donut carts and stuff. Yeah, that's all gone. And I realized that the trailer is probably just a prototype to just showcase a lot of the map, but it's still cool to see the differences and also know not to take it too seriously. The next trailers they put out, we definitely need to rethink some of the stuff that we see. The next part of the trailer is in the canal area, and I just thought this was cool because you can actually see the donut cart in the background, but we had no idea what this thing was at the time. But yeah, it was definitely there for us to see. This next part in the trailer has a couple of interesting things. Obviously, you can see that ginormous silver protector button, which looks nothing like what it really does. And also, this scene right here is nowhere on the map. I looked everywhere. I cannot find this location anywhere. So it could be outside the map, behind a zombie spawn or something, but it is nothing that we have access to. Plus, there's no location that looks like this for a civil protector call box. The next scene is in the burlesque, and a lot of us were all excited. We're like, oh, there's a mystery box location, and yeah, it looks just like what we're used to, the teddy bear and the little crates. Well, as we all know, there's no mystery box in here at all, and a box location without a mystery box looks nothing like that, so we were definitely fooled by this. Also, Slick and I had made videos about this, what we thought was the Pack-a-Punch camo, the new look of it, but it wasn't, and we've been lied to, so I don't believe anything Treyarch ever puts in their trailers now. This next one, somebody had gone frame by frame through the trailer and had found this really cool frame where it showed after the player had eaten this gumball, it looked like his player had split into two other duplicate clone forms of him, and that's what caused the zombies to not chase the main player and go after those clones. And this gumball is called In Plain Sight, but in actual gameplay, no, nothing like this happens. This next part of the footage shows a gumball over in the canal area. It's kind of by the buildable table, but this is not actually in the game. There's just a planter box here, so they might have just decided to leave that one out. This next part of the trailer, I think a lot of us really question what is going on here. There's these white glowing orbs that have what looks to be the Keeper's language or symbols on them. You can see two of them right there, right above the max ammo. There's also a bunch of them downstairs on the first level of the burlesque, and I'll show you guys more of that later on in the video and show you you a close-up of what those like light orbs look like. Here's a screenshot of what the Ruby Rabbit actually looks like in game, and you can see where the light orbs would have been, and yeah, obviously they've been left out. This next scene in the footage just absolutely breaks my heart because I spent a lot of time watching the trailer, like trying to find the mystery box or mystery box locations, and you can see right here where Jessica is standing. This is an actual mystery box location, and clearly they have left it out. They did not want us to see it, so yeah. The next scene was us first getting a glimpse of getting into this beast mode. What's funny is that it actually shows that fountain right there, and the player is using that fountain to get into the beast mode. Of course, they're not showing all the details of that. As soon as we saw this, me and Slick were like, oh yeah, this thing is gonna be glitchy, and it is. There's quite a few things you can do with it. Another thing that we had speculated about in the video was that flaming looking object on the right. We thought that was like some kind of doorway. Like, I thought it was gonna be a doorway to hell. Like you were gonna bust it open and you were gonna be in this huge room and there was gonna be like fire and maybe the devil was gonna be there, and that's where you had to go to Pack-a-Punch. I guess part of that was true, but that was just, yeah, that big statue you had to break open. And right here, when you come out of beast mode, they were trying to hide the fact that you exit beast mode in the same spot, and they put the character over by the footlight entrance, which I don't know why they're trying to hide that. I guess it would have given away too much about those fountains. A lot of the footage, they show like the characters, you know, fighting zombies or, you know, obviously these parasites right here, and they've put the characters on top of this walkway bridge at Waterfront, which is like the worst place on earth to be fighting parasites. So it's definitely a lesson in don't trust Treyarch for them to show you what's good for like gameplay strategy in their trailers. This next one is hilarious. I like made a full-on video about this. I know a lot of other people did, and we were really excited. We're getting, you know, new zombies. We wanted to like pick everything apart and know as much as we could about it. Well, this prologue trailer had come out after the pre-release trailer, and it showed like the backstory to all the 4 characters. And somebody had said, oh man, that looks like Jug on the docks on the bottom right there. I mean, we really analyzed it and tore it apart. And we were like, oh yeah, that's probably Jug. And I made a video. And then when you go to the docks, like, yeah, here's our Jug machine right here. It's a flaming barrel. So on to more things that are actually real. Later on in the trailer, you see Jessica grab these scissors off this table, and you can see a receipt in the background. And you can almost see like part of what it says. But what I thought was interesting is this is actually in the game, and it's in a few locations around the map, like in the theater area and also in the Ruby Rabbit. It just says Main Street Plaza. It's got some itemization and then signed by Livingston. The date on it says April 6, 1942, and there are some other receipts around the map that have, you know, this early 40s dating on it. I don't know if these receipts have any hidden meaning. They are in the prologue trailers and also in the game, and one of the receipts is for Sal DeLuca, and that's actually part of an Easter egg, so who knows. But this receipt here, being in the scene with Jessica when she's like murdering that guy, doesn't seem like it has anything to do with those people at all, so it could be just totally random. Here's the scene right here, and I was talking about this earlier. This is showing those light orbs with those keeper symbols on them. They show up in the second floor of the Ruby Rabbit, and also this first floor right here. You can see through those windows. Here's a close-up shot of it, and I can't find the symbol on the map anywhere. Like, the keeper symbols are on the keeper bodies, on the breakable crates, and like a few other spots. I haven't been able to like match it up with anything yet. So is this a concept they totally left out of the game, or is it something we're gonna discover later that's gonna be uncovered in an Easter egg? Here's another scene here in the trailer. This is with Nero, and it shows like 3 receipts on the table right there. Here's what those 3 receipts look like, and these are actually in the game as well. They are over in the theater area and also the Ruby Rabbit, like on a bar on the first floor. The Main Street Plaza is a repeat of what was in the other scene with Jessica, and the Footlight one is, I think, the only one that really relates to the scene there with Nero. The backstory is that his wife is spending a lot of his money, and you can see at the bottom there it says bill to the husband's account. But I just wanted to show you guys these in case somebody notices something that like I don't see, because at this point I think they're just decorative and they don't really tell us anything. There's been something that I've been wondering about in the game for a while now, and then I watched the prologue trailer like playback yesterday and I saw this, and it's exactly what I've been like questioning and wondering about. As you guys already know, I like to use old gen graphics and current gen graphics to compare for like if things are really Easter eggs or if they're really important. Like, I'll go on PS4 and I'll be playing Shadows of Evil and I'll be like, okay, this looks important. Well, I'm gonna go go over to Xbox 360 and play the game and see if it's there. If it's not there, then it probably means it has nothing to do with an Easter egg. As everybody already knows, Xbox 360 and PS3 cannot handle the graphics load that is required for Shadows of Evil, so they've had to leave out absolutely everything and only put in things that are really necessary, like for Easter eggs and stuff. And that's exactly how we found the upgrade little Arnie Easter egg. The items to interact with completely stood out on old gen console. So when comparing old gen to current gen graphics, I had noticed this little cutout in the canals that existed on Xbox 360, but it wasn't on PS4. It looks just like that little cutout with that metal door where it's got that wooden crate in it. You gotta like break it open and do like beast mode stuff and get the detective badge out of it. Well, on old gen, there is an identical one. It's over there by the chain traps and it's empty. And I had noticed that this little cutout is not on current gen. It's just a solid brick wall. And let me remind you that on old gen, they only put in what is absolutely necessary. So they've put in this like cutout with all this detail and metal door on old gen when it's not necessary to have it unless it's a part of something important. Because on current gen, it is not there. But when you go look at the prologue trailer, it is there. I mean, it could be nothing, but once I saw that in the trailer, I was like, now I'm just even more confused. Another small thing I noticed was at the end of the prologue, it shows all the characters like meeting at the spawn point, and the camera like kind of pans around, and when you see that like door you break open to get that power up, it's got like no chains, it's completely plain, and those stairs to get to Nero's is not there at all. They just completely removed that whole part right there. The very last thing I want to show you guys is something that happened back in February. This was way before any announcement of Black Ops 3, zombies, or anything like that. Treyarch had held a conference and talked about a lot of the inside stuff about Treyarch, behind the scenes at their studio. And they were showing some screenshots of zombies and, just stuff from the past. One screenshot came up, and this is it right here. There was a Polaroid picture with what looked like a zombie behind it, a futuristic gun like we'd never seen before, a chalk outline, which definitely indicates zombies, and a question mark. Later on, we were able to determine that this was the XR2 from Black Ops 3, but we definitely didn't know that at the time. I had made a video speculating about it because the shadow to me looked like Brutus, and that orange wall was kind of like the texture and color of like Mob of the Dead. So I had thought, oh, they're gonna bring back like Mob of the Dead. This looks like Brutus to me, and I like made a whole video about it. And I'm like, these are his barbed wire hanging off his side. This is definitely Brutus. And like the color of that wall is orange. It looks a lot like Mob of the Dead. And I think a lot of us thought, oh, we're definitely getting a look at one of the new maps that they're going to be releasing. Well, it definitely wasn't a screenshot of a new map, and the XR2 is not even in zombies, but I still think that is definitely Brutus. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next video.